Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Jess. I'm half reader, half writer, all bookworm, and this is my August TBR. So I read 10 books in July, so I'm going to try to read 10 books in August. However, I have not really nailed down a set list of books that I want to read in August for those 10 books. I've got 9 in mind, and we are already like ankles deep in August, like I said in my July wrap-up video. So I am just going to leave that 10th book a mystery book, so you will just have to come back at the end of the month to see what I ended up reading for my 10th book for August. So that is gonna be the first book we talk about today, my mystery book, so I think that'll be fun. I am a mood reader at heart, and so I think it'd be cool just to see what I end up picking. But the books that I have selected for my TBR are, I love thrillers. I've decided that I kind of want to make sure that I'm reading at least one thriller a month. They just go really quick. I like listening to them when I'm on the treadmill, things like that. So I'm going to read The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I don't know anything about this. I'm assuming that there's a house across the lake, and I know that it's a thriller, and I've never read a Riley Sager book before, so I'm really interested in reading this one. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. Last month I actually finished the Monsters and Muses series, so I am continuing in a couple of series that I have been in. So Heartstopper Volume 4 is also on my TBR. It looks like this one's set in the winter time, and I'm craving winter. I love winter. Fall and winter are like my favorite seasons. But yeah, we're continuing Nick and Charlie's story. This is a graphic novel, if you're not familiar with it. I believe season 3 of the show on Netflix comes out in October, and so I want to make sure that I've read volumes 4 and 5 before season 3 comes out, so that I don't get anything spoiled for me or whatever. Next, another series that I'm gonna be finishing up. This is actually book 2 in a duology. I'm reading The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. This is book 2 to The Stolen Heir. The Stolen Heir ended on kind of it wasn't really a cliffhanger, like it felt like a complete story, but there's more to it. Where we left our main characters, they're kind of in a precarious spot. I'm kind of worried for them, so I'm excited to hop back into this and see what happens. I love Holly Black's writing. I love her beautiful, magical fairy tale way of telling fairy stories. Yeah, I'm just super excited to hop into this world again, and I love the Cruel Prince universe. I'm so glad that she did this. It feels like a continuation of the Cruel Prince universe, but it also feels like its own story as well. Another series, I'm going to start a couple series this month as well. I'm going to start reading Daughter of No Worlds. This is about Tasana, and she is basically in this living in this war-torn world where there are two systems of magic wielders. From what I can tell so far, I'm a couple chapters in, honestly, and I'm a little confused, but I'm liking it. This is by Carissa Broadbent. I loved the Crowns of Nyaxia series, so I'm interested to hop into this Children of Fallen Gods trilogy. But yeah, Tasana is in this world that is war-torn. There's two magic systems, one that I think is powered like by the sun, and one that I think is powered by the moon. She is in the moon faction. Like, she has magic, but it's not complete. Like, she hasn't really been trained in it. She can make like these illusions, like these butterflies, and she's a dancer. She's was sold into slavery as a child when her village was conquered, and so she's been like kind of making her own way in the world. She's trying to earn enough gold to buy her freedom and go join the orders, which are like these magical soldiers who kind of, you know, go and defend the kingdom and this and that. So she wants to do that so that she can go like avenge her people and make a better life for her friends that she's made. So that's basically where we're at. And there is a romance. She's gonna meet this guy who she's gonna be apprenticing for, and I think there's gonna be a romance between them. So I'm super excited to hop into it. I've heard that it's like a cozy fantasy, and I've only read one cozy fantasy before, and I didn't really like it. So hopefully I like this one. And speaking of cozy fantasies, I also want to read Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This month I saw that this was included in Spotify Premium. I have Spotify, so I'm gonna use like my Spotify hours to listen to this and see if I like it. Hopefully I do. It sounds like an interesting premise. So basically she's a professor and she's going to this like remote place to catalog this species of fae into like an encyclopedia. And that's all I know about it, really. I think there's like a rivals to lovers romance in there somewhere. But yeah, I'm excited to hop into that one and give cozy fantasy another try. Another book that I want to read my Owl Crate book from July in August. This is Sleep Like Death. Look at these edges. I love that. Look how that's picking up on camera. I don't know. I love lime green. Not really to wear, but I like looking at it. I like it. This is Sleep Like Death by Kaylin Bayron. Beautiful book. All I can glean from this so far is that it's like a Snow White retelling, so like the poison apple and all of that. I think that's all I know, really. But I know it looks beautiful. I know I love Kaylin Bayron's writing. Cinderella is Dead is still one of my favorite books. It's like the first book that I read when I got back into reading, and I've been hooked ever since. And I'm just excited to jump into this and to read more of her work. I think I've read most of it at this point, and I like her writing, so I'm happy that I have this. I'm so glad that that was Owl Crate's book for the month. Another book that I want to read, this is actually another series I want to start Belladonna. I know book 3 in the trilogy comes out pretty soon. There's Belladonna and Foxglove, which I have. This is basically about a girl named Signa, and she was orphaned at a young age, and she can basically see death, and death has kind of been stalking her whole life, killing people that have taken her in, and so she hates death. But if I'm not mistaken, this is a romance between her and death, and so I'm trying to see how that's gonna work. But I love me a good enemies to lovers, so happy to have this and excited to actually read it and jump into it. I also want to start the Lightlark series. So this is book 1 in what I think is going to be a trilogy, and I think book 3 in this comes out soon. So I want to hop on it and start it. I've had this book forever, but this is basically, I've heard it described as like the Hunger Games but make it fantasy. So in this world, there are these kingdoms, and each of them has a curse, and they have one chance to break the curse every 100 years, I think. And so there's an island called Lightlark. They have to go to the island and basically complete these challenges, fight to the death, I think, to break their curse. And I think one person is gonna die and one person is gonna get their curse broken. I think that's what it is. Don't quote me on it, but it sounds super interesting. I'm making sure I did not miss anything. Nope, that is it. Oh no, okay. So it sounds super interesting, and I'm kind of interested to hop into this. I love fantasy all year round, but this one kind of, since it's set on an island, it kind of feels summery, so I want to read this one while it's still like warm outside. And then I'm reading one dark romance this month. I'm reading My Dark Desire by L.J. Shen and Parker S. Huntington. I actually already started this one. I'm about like 60% of the way through it according to my Kindle. I do have the physical copy because the book is beautiful. I've been annotating. They are so funny. I love like their writing style together. I don't know whose voice it is more because I haven't really read much of either of their work. I think I've read like one other L.J. Shen book, but I love the way that they write these books. I read My Dark Romeo, and now this is like book 2 in the interconnected standalone series, and I love how funny they are. I love these characters. They are so hilarious, and the story so far, it's a dark romance, so it's very hot, but it's also very heartwarming, and I love that. So it's basically following Pharaoh. It's kind of a Cinderella inspired story. It's following Pharaoh, who's been treated horribly by her stepfamily after her father's death. She's reeling from her father's death and the loss of her career, and she is basically working as a maid, and she has her own like cleaning company. It's her father's cleaning company that he left to her. And long story short, she ends up breaking into the house, not breaking into, she crashes a party of Zach's son, who is our male main character in this book. She crashes his party and tries to steal something from him that it's really not stealing though, you just got to read it. But he catches her and she catches his eye, and you know, this is a big thing for him because he doesn't like people because of something traumatic that happened to him in his past. He doesn't get close to people, and so, but he wants to get close to Pharaoh, and he basically they kind of strike up this arrangement. She ends up kind of living in his house, and it just kind of unfolds from there. We get to see characters from the first book, which I'm so happy about because I loved Dallas and Romeo. Oliver's funny, Frankie, and we get new characters too. So I'm just enjoying it so far. It's been a fun ride. And those are all the books that I want to read in August. Let me know if you have read any of these books. Make sure you come back at the end of the month to see what my mystery book ended up being, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.